You're live.
We did it!
Yes, finally our first live together.
We've had some technical issues today.
Wow.
Lots of them.
That was freaking fabulous.
Okay, let's hope that the computer actually stays on this time. Okay, so I'm Leah Rose. I'm a spiritual medium and mentor and mom of 3 wild and crazy boys. And this is...
Hello, everyone. I'm Anna. I am an intuitive energy healer, medium, and I'm also a mom to 2 wild boys.
Mm-hmm. So we're here to talk to you today a little bit about being a psychic medium, what that means. And actually, the reason why we decided to do this was because Anna came to me today with an experience that she had. And so we were like, you know what, we should probably just share this with the world. So here we are.
So Leah and I are friends. I own Pixie SSRQ here in Sarasota. Leah is in-house a couple days a week. She's the in-house medium, astrologer, life coach. So she has a beautiful list of gifts that she carries with her. But very recently for myself, I noticed that in my energy work, mediumship was coming up a lot. So I kind of gravitated to her and I had some questions. And she was able to help me. So I thought, why not? Let's do a YouTube video on this, see if there's other moms out there, if there's anyone else that's maybe this can benefit. And here we are.
Yes, here we are. So anyways, she came to me this morning with the question. So basically she was doing an energy healing and she knew that her clients, like one of their loved ones was coming through because you could hear them.
Yeah.
Right. And so she just had some questions. Basically, well, go ahead. Tell me.
So basically what happened was I was situating the room to get ready for this client to come up. And usually you have techniques that I kind of get myself ready. But very quickly I learned that I wasn't going into energy work. So they asked me to sit. And as soon as the client came up to my healing studio, I was bombarded with spirits. I had spirits coming through, and some stuck out more than the other. And what ended up happening is I was giving her messages right away. She sat down and I was kind of just already giving her messages. And some of the things wasn't making sense for her. So it's almost like I was like, okay, I looked at her and I said, well, you came here for healing work. You didn't come here for mediumship. So I was about to shut it down and just kind of close the door, and quickly a name came through. So I blurted the name, and as soon as I blurted the name, she made the connection to it. So I was able to pull as much information as I could, because what was happening was I was seeing it as energy, and the energy was like super, super, super fast. But Leah has now taught me that I can be in control of it, where I can ask the spirit to slow the information down. And that's what she's recently given me the information. So I don't know, maybe I was rambling there.
So no. So basically we were just saying, like, this also kind of, it lends itself to the fact that we are all, everyone is intuitive, and we all have these capabilities. We all have the capability to communicate with energy and to connect with energy, because that's all it is. That's all spirit is it's energy. We're energy. And so when I go in to do readings, I'm just connecting with the other person's energy. I'm connecting with their higher self, their guides, and I'm inviting any loved ones to come in. And so Anna, as she's developing her mediumship and she's starting to communicate more with people who have crossed over, she's finding that she's very clairaudient. So she's receiving the messages and she's hearing them, whereas I'm very clairvoyant, and so I see images. And so it's basically, so there's clairvoyance, which is seeing, there's clairaudience, which is hearing, clairsentience, which is you'll kind of feel it in your body, and then there's claircognizance, which is a knowing. And so basically what I was telling Anna is that what you can do when you're connecting with spirit, and like I said, anyone can do this. You don't have to be, reading for other people. You can be doing it for yourself. So, connecting with the spirit world is something that, it's a part of us, and it's been suppressed. We haven't allowed ourselves, like as children, we're taught, these things aren't real. We're taught that it's all pretend or it's not really true, right? So we suppress it, and we, collectively we've forgotten, especially in Western cultures, that we even have these abilities. So what's really cool is that, if you can get into a state of presence and kind of get your mind out of the way, you can start to connect and receive these messages for yourself. And it's all about connecting to the energy, and really deciding what the messages mean to you. So intuition is basically just intention in your imagination. So you set the intention when you're going in to connect with spirit for your best and highest good. Or when I'm going in to do a reading, or when Anna is going in to do any sort of energy work or healing, you're going to set the intention of what you want it to be. So I always say, like, I want to connect with spirit, the person's higher self, any loved ones for their best and highest good. And then you just have to trust whatever comes in for you. And you just kind of look at it like through observation and curiosity, and you kind of feel into what you're observing. And the more you can get out of the way and let go of the fear of not being right, or like the not trusting, the more you can let that go and just really get into a state of presence and trust, the more you can start to develop your own dialogue with your spirit team. And so, like, for me, I have like this whole visual library, and this is where the imagination part comes in, of what different images mean to me. So when I'm reading something and I see an image of a certain thing, it's symbolic for something for that person. So it's through me practicing with other people, and I'll be receiving information and I feel into what that feels like. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's the message. And then it's also up to the person who I'm reading to kind of look at their own intuition and see how it resonates for them. But either way, now I feel like I'm rambling.
No, but it's good because
Yeah.
because I'm listening to what you're saying, because that's, your techniques, and you've mastered it because you've been doing this much longer than I have. So like, you've created, like you said, like a platform of how you
Yeah.
want your readings to kind of conduct, right?
Yeah.
Versus me, I'm like more at the beginning stages. So it's like, now I need to create my parameters and figure out, because a lot of things did, like, like, now that you're talking and me looking back, things have happened where, I'm always getting presented a rose. And so like,
Yeah.
now, I know like what the rose, at 5-6 times that it's
Yes.
happened, I know what the rose now signifies when I have a client in front of me.
Yes.
So, and I also do think, like, going back to what you were saying, I think like, it's like wanting anything. If you want to build your intuition, if you want to, it's practice. So, I've had to practice this technique. I'm very good at having, somebody in front of me and feeling very comfortable having them laid down and connecting to their body. And so like, now I feel like I've been now asked to like, elevate my practice. So like, now they've presented me with this other thing where it's like, no, okay, now let's do like work on mediumship. So now I have to practice, and the more I keep doing this, I feel like it builds and builds and builds, like just like anything. Like, if you want to learn how to ride a bike, if you want to learn how to learn another language, you have to practice it.
It's a muscle.
It's
that
a muscle.
flex. Yep. And it's also, I was saying to Anna too, like, when I was first starting off doing readings, the second that I would start to feel fear that I wasn't going to be right, or fear that the other person was going to judge me, it's like the connection just gets shut off. Because when you're doing anything like this, whenever you're connecting or communicating with the spirit world, you have to be in a state of presence. You have to be right here and right now, and your mind can't be a part of it. You have to be in a state of presence and receiving, and then you just trust whatever comes in. And if you can get yourself to that place, and there's just many, many different techniques that you can do to start to really cultivate this, but it's really about letting go of the fear and stepping into trust, and just like being curious and playful with the information that you're receiving. So like you were saying, she was saying that she was seeing like this like kind of vortex of energy. And if I had been in that situation, I would have really kind of sat there and just observed that vortex and like been like, okay, what does this feel like? And then the more that you sit with whatever it is, the more information you'll receive. And so, like I said, like it's a lot about your imagination. Like spirit will use different references that you're familiar with to communicate what they're trying to say. Sometimes when I'm in a reading, I'll get something like very specific that I haven't seen before. Like a lot of times when I'm seeing the person who's crossed over, that gets pretty specific. Like I'll see like what their haircut looked like or their clothes that they would wear or whatever. But it's still just a process of like, I have to trust it. I just got to let the information come in and be like, this is what I'm seeing, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's usually, it's just about trust and presence, and then setting your intention. Intention is really, really important. You know, what is it that you're looking for? And there's all sorts of different, like there's such a rich spiritual world that you can tap into. And it's really just like a process of exploration, and there's all the guidance and all the support that you could ever need. So it's really cool.
So like as you're talking, I was just kind of replaying some of like things that have happened. So maybe, I don't know, we can maybe talk a little bit, hit a little bit of them. So like I do notice that, so what's the difference between like channeling? Because I do notice that sometimes in order for me to step out of my own way, it's almost like I become a conduit where like I feel like I've stepped out of the way, and then like it's an embodiment where so like the actual energy can kind of come through me, and I'm like I feel like the energy of the person or the client or whoever, I feel like it kind of embodies through me, and that's how I've kind of stepped out of my own way to deliver the message. Can that be something? Is that completely different than like what we've been talking about?
I think it's all different types of channeling.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're basically receiving the information, and then like how you receive it. Like I said, like mine comes very visual, and yours you're taking into your body, and then it's coming through. So like yours, it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. But even like, so like we were talking about channeled writing, that was like a little bit different. Like when I go into channel write, it's almost like I'm in like a trance a little bit, like I'm even further out of the way. So it's kind of like there's like varying degrees of how far. And then we were talking about like shamanic practices and like merging with spirits to receive messages. And so I think it's all different types of channeling. Even like when you're writing, you're channeling your higher self, you know, like when you're doing stream of consciousness writing, that's why journaling is so powerful. It's like your higher self, like you're just in that present moment, and you're just allowing the words to come out of you. Yeah, I've done that. So, but I think once again, it's like with intention, because then there's like, you know, in-body channelers like Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, and like, I mean, that she totally does like an in-body channeling, and it's the words are just coming out, you know? So it's all like different ways of just relating to the energy.
And it would be interesting because I feel like that is the direction that it's going for, because sometimes I do get like this. It's pretty empowering because I feel like it's a whole body shift too.
Okay.
So I think, like you said, I think it'll be quite interesting to see how this will pan out for me. I think it'll be really cool if we have people, I don't know if they're interested in following the journey where Leah kind of helps me figure this all out, because it's definitely new for me.
It's really fun. And like, I think also too, like sometimes people are fearful. But what you also need to know, like about the spirit world, is like you're in control. Like you get to decide who you're talking to. And so like, once again, with intention, like you get to connect with who it is you want to connect to, you know? So if it's your loved ones, then you can call them in. You know, if it's your spirit guides, you can call them in, but you do that with the intention of receiving messages for your best and highest good. So any time that you go in to talk to spirits, it's always such like a compassionate and nurturing and healing experience, because you're going in with that intention, and that's the only thing that you're going to be able to receive, because that's your intention,
right?
If that makes sense.
And we were talking about like working with Jesus today too, where like you feel like you felt him like through your hands.
Yeah, so like and the same thing happened, I just started doing shamanic practices. I'm learning about that, which feels a bit like an extension of what I've been doing, because it's all just energy. You're all just connecting with different energies. But yes, with Jesus and like also some other channeled writings, I felt like I was merged with them. So like even when I would sit with him, it was like I could like feel like the sense of a man's hands, and like I felt like it didn't feel like my body anymore, almost, you know what I mean?
And for me, when he steps in, it's like I feel like it's almost like a presence, where a familiarity, where like I just know that he's there.
Yeah.
And it's just like I have this like, oh, okay, you got me kind of. So like it's just interesting how we both have set him up in our.
Yeah. And that's like too, like claircognizance, there's when I first started doing, and then I was taught to really kind of feel into the images. And then I got a sense of like really how like the emotion behind the images. But then as I've continued on, the claircognizance has come in, where I just like all of a sudden it hit me in my gut and I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Or I'll start to hear stuff and I'll like actually hear a word or two and I'm like, oh, that's what that is. So like as you continue to do these things, like all of these different ways of relating to energy will start to expand.
Right.
What was the other thing? Oh, the other thing that happened, which was super interesting, if you talk about clairsentience, is remember that one reading I did, the person who came through, it was someone who had crossed over, but like I felt he was like beaming me with love for his sister, who is still here. I was doing the reading for her, but it was like such an amazing, beautiful feeling. It actually brought me to tears, because he was just showing me how much like he loved her and the love that he was sending her, but I felt it in my body. I never really received as much clairsentience, or I'm sorry, clairsentience, where I felt it in my body. So that was like a really cool
And
experience.
like, so like, say for example, like if I've teared up, like in a reading, like I've teared up. So what would that mean? Because I felt like spirit was giving me all this love, and then like it's like
that's clairsentience.
Yeah, and I was like pouring it back into the client. Yeah, when they're like on the table.
Yeah,
for me,
if you can feel it, like the feeling is the clairsentience. You know.
So maybe we'll like our next video will like break it down. All the sense.
Yeah. And it's also too, like there's a process, like after you, it's conditioning. We've just been conditioned to believe that like this stuff isn't real, it's not true, or you know, we're not capable. But
it's like now looking back, talking with my husband and stuff, I was doing this so much, Leah. Like a lot of my readings were happening in gym settings. Like I was always at the right place at the right time for the right people. And the minute I had somebody in front of me and they were talking about a loved one that had passed, immediately I would feel them come through. And it was just me being in like that fear kind of mode, where I was just like, I don't want to tell this person that they're already here. So like I would just be that listening ear for that person, and then being the healer that I, you know, that label that I put on myself, I was just able to say or do or be whatever I needed at the moment as a human for them. But I immediately, as soon as someone said it, I immediately would have the spirit come through. So it's just now accepting and being like, hey, you know, we all have this. And
well, that's the thing, is like your mind and your beliefs, like they'll make or break you with anything in life. So if you believe that it's not real, you're just shutting yourself down. Like you're not, how are you going to connect with something that you don't even, you know? But it's almost like I wish I had known now, like when I was a kid, like I wish somebody had told me these things, so I could have, you know, cultivated it and, you know, really used that for,
I think so,
guidance and all the things.
So. And it's like, and that's why I think certain kids, I always was grabbed, like in classrooms, I always had the certain, like, you know, kids that I felt like were indigo children or crystal children, because I feel like we have so many now that are coming in that are already very in tune.
Yeah.
But now it's like teaching our little ones, you know.
Well, they're so in tune. Like they're just like pure light. Like when they're just like little walking channels of light. And then like the world like just instills in them all these beliefs and conditions and whatever.
Programs. Yeah. That's why I feel like it's so important now to talk more about this and talk more about it with parents, other moms, because, you know, like I feel like if the kid has it, 100% one of the parents have it in their genes, right? So like we've talked about this.
Like the way in which they're receiving. Right. I feel like because like everybody has it. Like everybody is capable of communicating, but yeah, I do see, because I know that like some people in my family are more intuitive, but I think it's more so too. It's just like,
it's just they didn't choose that path.
Yeah.
See, like I feel like for me, like I chose that path in one way or another. If it was in my classroom setting, if it was as a mom. So like I just feel like it's practice. That's all it really is. Like if you're like you. As a teacher, as a mom, you always had it in you. Like you kind of like, you know, you were always working that muscle at some level or another. Right?
Yeah. So people who are more intuitive to begin with are going to gravitate towards intuitive types of work and endeavors.
I feel like we've been so serious, Leah, because I don't know, people don't really know us, but like every time Leah and I are together.
I feel like you need to scoot in. I'm so far away from it. You get to see all of it.
Yeah.
See? Oh, that's better.
But every time Leah and I get together, I feel like we're like the biggest goofballs and stuff. So like us doing this is so serious. But
I know.
Yeah,
we tried to do a video before this and we just like couldn't stop laughing.
Maybe
it was like 10 minutes of just like rolling on the ground laughter.
Maybe we should add the bloopers at the end of this so people can see like our other side of us, so they don't think that we're this serious, because we're really not this serious.
No,
we're really not.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to drop them in the comments. Also, we're here at Pixie Dust. We're offering classes and workshops, and you know, we have intuitive readers and astrology and all the things at Pixie Dust. So if you're in the Sarasota area, come down and visit us. Give us a call, set up an appointment if you want, or check out our classes. All the above.
Yeah, follow, like, share all of our stuff. Because this isn't going to be the first time you see us.
No, and we'll come back if you have any interest in any other topics or how to develop your intuition. Just drop them in the comments too, and we'll continue to make more videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, girl, we did it. First one. Yes.
Bye.